Do you hear me? I'm talking to you. Across the water, across the deep blue ocean, under the open sky. Oh my, baby, I'm trying. Boy, I hear you across the sea. I hear you whisper in my dreams. I keep you with me in my heart. You make it easier when life gets hard. Welcome, welcome to the stream. Man. Yep. And boop. And should I come now? Boom. All right. Oh no, the chat box is all the way over there. Boop. There we go. My yo is not in the middle of the text. Yeah. I see it. Oh man. And this is the. Oh, I accidentally tagged the live streamers, not the live stream chat. Hold on. Oh gosh. There we go. So how goes it tonight, my accomplice in the most darings of crimes? Doing good? Essential workers united. Woo! Ah, man. Let's talk about something other than that for the rest of the stream because I'm good. I am good now. Equi is doing fantastic. Work is insane, so I'm glad I was able to do this stream. You're in the midst of D&D. I put this later so you could have D&D. So you could do D&D so I wasn't in the middle of your game. So should I do these earlier now? Because I think if I do it any later, then you're not going to be able... It's going to be like 3 in the morning for you. But even still, I read the first... upon reading the first paragraph, I have found 2 typos already. One's a... yeah, I found 2 typos already. So, I'm just going to add on... No, not that one. There we go. 2 typos already. Apparently, the change of the day also brought within the news that I would be temporarily relocating, as well as the recruits would not receive their first weeks on the beat training. It's been running long. So it's just these couple weeks that, yeah, there's typos. Right. Yeah. And right. Yeah. Erase them. Fix it. No. The fixer of my BS. Oh my gosh. Well, you should have told me to start fixing them 30 chapters ago. I would have gladly done so. Do I still have that doc somewhere? I have no idea. Remember that doc of everything's a typo, and then I never did, and I kind of forgot about it? This would have been perfect time to bring it back up. But is it my job, really, to fix it? Or is it my job to simply fix it? No, hold on. Fix it in post? No? Fix it in post without actually fixing it. I think that's my official job title. Fix it without really fixing it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Also, where are all the people at? Where's all the people? Like, usually there's a bit more running around now. Also, serious, serious question though. When people start, when you start getting comments of more, of more, I want more, more. Does that make you like? Does that make it like you have won? like you've won the game of entertainment? Because I've had a few comments the last few days of that exactly. I'm like, I never expected these kinds of comments. Hey, what the matter? Hey, oh. But, oh man. And, I might be starting to have to go back to respite for a bit. Because I only have 27 chapters left of this, of this lovely story. And then I'll be out of chapters. And I'm going to be sad. But maybe I can actually do something with Carapace's work that that I haven't done in over a year now. I wonder if my Asper voice will actually make a return. Or maybe my voice for whatever. Oh, it's been for ages since I've read Respite. Oh gosh. I need to read that again. I mean, I've already reread your story quite a few times, which is the only reason I noticed that little error-ish continuity there. But, oh well, Manhattan it shall be. Alright. Since no one else is responding, might as well get the ball rolling. Wait till all the other people file in, right? I'm like, it's the same time every week. Where's all the people at? Where's all the people at, man? Apparently, the change of the day also brought with it the news that I would be temporarily relocating. It was tradition that the new recruits. Apparently, the change of the day also brought with it the news that I would be temporarily relocating. It was tradition that new recruits not receive their first week of on-the-beat training in the same place they would later patrol, I soon learned. It had something to do with not being seen as too green to those we were It had something to do with not being seen as too green to those we protected. I pointed out that none of us were green, and was quickly corrected that, whatever had gone on out in the forest, we had been tested and found worthy, but still needed a little experience of day-to-day guarding, since none of us had experienced. Since none of us had expressed interest in Manhattan, that meant the four of us were to be shipped off to exactly there. Since none of us had expressed any interest. Since none of us expressed interest in Manhattan, that meant the four of us were. Oh gosh. Since none of us had expressed interest in Manhattan, that meant the four of us were to be shipped off exactly there, albeit only for a few weeks. Our armor would arrive before us, and when we returned or went wherever permanent duty location we were assigned, we would be polished, prepared, and ready to impress. What was with these words? Why? Oh, man. Our armor would arrive. Our armor would. Our armor would arrive. Our armor would arrive before us, and when we returned or went wherever permanent. Our armor would arrive before us, and when we returned or went to wherever permanent duty location we were assigned, we would be polished, prepared, and ready to impress. Our armor would arrive before us, and when we returned or went or went to whatever permanent. Okay. Our armor would arrive. Our armor would arrive before us, and when we returned, or went to whatever permanent duty location we were assigned, we would be polished, prepared, and ready to impress. I do not think the sergeant's emphasis on the second syllable makes that the 3 P's, and honestly it bothered me immensely that the others did. Topaz promised me that everything would be exactly as I left it in my lair. I appreciated the sentiment and promised to bring her something from Manhattan, as I was led to believe it was custom. Topaz promised me that everything would be exactly as I left it in my lair. Topaz promised me that everything would be exactly as I left it in my lair. I appreciated the sentiment and promised to bring her something from Manhattan, as I was led to believe was custom. She assured me that it wasn't. She assured me that that wasn't necessary. Also was as custom. This centered. She assured me. That sounds. Oh gosh. Why does that sound wrong? Why does that sound wrong? She assured me that that wasn't necessary. Also was. She assured me that that wasn't necessary. Also as was custom. This ensured a better gift. She assured me that that wasn't necessary. Also as was custom. This ensured a better gift, somehow. The staunchiness of her assurances, therefore, suggested that I must get her a very impressive gift indeed. She also gave me a small pouch of bits to pay for a Dragonfire transmission when I arrived, and a large block of salt for the train ride, which I had not previously been aware of was necessary. And a large block of salt for the train ride, which I had not previously been aware was necessary. I cautiously asked for permission to travel. I cautiously asked for permission to travel by hoof. Alas, it was denied, and I again ventured into the beast, fortified with salt. This made me drowsy, which in turn made me paranoid. I did not want to fall asleep in the infernal machine when it would. More of Idle's train phobias. Will he ever get over the train phobias, or will it just be one of his quirks that he's just afraid of trains? You think after living in the city and amongst pony kind for that long, he would be accustomed to the train not wanting to eat him. I cautiously asked for permission. I cautiously asked for permission to travel by hoof. Alas, it was denied, and I again returned into the I cautiously asked for permission to travel by hoof. Alas, it was denied, and I again ventured into the beast, fortified with salt. This made me drowsy, which in turn made me paranoid. I did not want to fall asleep in the infernal machine when it required such constant vigilance. I was relieved when the others seemed to naturally fall into shifts of wakefulness and various games to pass the time, with Wispy getting frustrated that the pieces on the board kept shifting, which apparently ruined the game as she was about to win. I found this amazing, as she had perhaps 3 of her total pieces left on the board. Shining agreed that it was a shame that he hadn't seen her amazing counter-strategy, which apparently involved throwing a piece at his head. Beating Bold and myself in succession seemed to greatly improve her mood, though Shining admitted my strategy had the advantage of being unique. Apparently, moving every piece one move ahead at a time, regardless of I was doing too well. I was reading too well, and then I got smitten down. Smoted. Smitten? Smoten? Apparently, moving every piece forward. Apparently, moving every piece one move ahead at a time, regardless of openings, is unheard of. I would have to refine it. Apparently, moving every piece one move forward. Apparently, moving every piece one move ahead at a time, regardless of openings, is unheard of. I would have to refine it. Manhattan is not as mountainous as Canterlot, by which I mean it both lacks a mountain and lacks the good marble construction of towers that appear as spires. I found myself immediately disappointed, but I suppose brick and mortar would suffice away from their princesses. The barracks were reasonably cozy, I decided. Instead of having a large open space with bunks, as did our first barracks, it had small two-pony rooms. Shining and I were given a room, and Wispy and Bold shared their own with other new recruits. Apparently it was either improper or uncomfortable for unwed ponies of opposite gender. Apparently it was either improper or uncomfortable for unwed ponies of opposite gender to rack together. Oddly, Shining seemed slightly disappointed that the first day of actual servitude in the Guard consisted of almost exactly the same early morning exercises as before, excepting that those who were considered the most fit. Hey! Welcome to the stream, Pandy. Pandy? Yes. And welcome, Demo. Guess who's staying up late and drunk? I mean, yes, I don't know. Who's staying up late and getting drunk? V? Is that you, V? I don't know. I just have good old-fashioned water to sustain myself. Who knows? I might switch it up sometime. But welcome one and all. I was starting to get lonely over here. And I see I have 5 people watching my every... What is it when there's a live stream with no... It's not move, because you can't physically... I must ponder this. Nah, I don't know. But watching my every vocalization? Yeah, let's go with that. Every vocalization. I figured, V. I figured. Man. I do have some mead. But it's not a special occasion yet. Could Chapter 30 be considered a special occasion? I'll consider a special occasion when I finally catch up with good old V here. When I finally have cottage up, I will consider that complete and a good time for mead. Which is apparently fast approaching because I only have 27 chapters left, which means only 27 more weeks of these live streams that focus specifically on Changeling of the Guard, which is written by VDrake77 and narrated by myself. Oh, welcome, Leggy. That's true. That's true. Every chapter is a special occasion. Man. Especially the classic chapters. Like, you have those few chapters that are like, that's magnifique. Such as Justice from Above, and the time Topaz went out and did some shady business. We're going to be seeing that here very soon. Well, maybe that should be a special chapter. Although you shouldn't really get drunk before a special mission. Who knows? I might do both. Yes, and Leggy, I hope you enjoy my interpretations of how I think the character should sound. Yes, okay. It seems unanimous. I shall be drinking for that chapter. When is that chapter, by the way? It's soon. How soon? Let me see how soon. Here we go. It is 5 weeks away. Within 5 weeks, in 5 weeks, shall be drinking. That is, if I do not get sick, which I haven't yet. Good old apple cider vinegar keeping me healthy. Highly recommend it. It's been a family remedy for years. But anyway, yes, I can't wait to show everyone my true vocal range, which is mainly just me doing slightly southern accents for everyone and everything, but somehow differentiating them enough. Why do I naturally center towards southern? I'm from the West. I shouldn't be going southern. And Demo, I am doing fantastic. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I tried to think of a clever way. It didn't work out. But I'm going to just be like, drink some more water and and definitely doing good. He's in the middle of D&D right now, so responses might be few and far between. Because I specifically made it later so he could join in, and then he never joins in. Good to hear. Oh, man. Nah, I'm too essential to be in quarantine, so... Yeah, the world can't turn unless it gets pizza. Ooh, I totally want to do some Doom Eternal. Eventually. Maybe I should play 2016 first before I play Eternal. And welcome, Desk. welcome, Disc. And if these questions aren't meant for me, I apologize. I'm just going to assume that all questions are related to me. Because obviously, I am the the center of attention. I can't even say that with a straight face. Okay. Yes. I'll make it up. I make it up because he makes it up. I have it, including all these lovely typos in his work that I find. He's making me sad, but he offsets it by the number of typos. So I guess it's about even. So but yeah, I own 2016. I've owned 2016 for about a year and a half now. I just haven't played it. I want to play Doom Eternal. I'm just not a gaming kind of dude. I watch other people play video games, and then I just live vicariously through them. Although, yeah, I just generally really suck at games. Oh, man. Yes, we are all trapped inside. But, oh wait, hold on. No, time for meme time. Wait, you guys are trapped inside? I live inside. I finally got sick of the difficulty level I was playing on. I waited starting the game over versus constantly getting gangbanged to my current save file. Gotcha. I get that. To be honest, I'll probably be playing I'm Too Young to Die because that's definitely my skill level. Hurt Me Plenty is just ooh, not me. I'm too young to die. I'm very bad at first person shooters. But yes, it seems like a very, very good game. Back together. Or uncomfortable for unwed ponies. Okay, yeah. Sorry over on easier difficulty one out. That's where you get better on easier difficulties, and then you'll just get trounced the harder difficulties. And that's how it goes. Like for me, I've played all the Halo games in backwards order, don't ask me why. And all of them on easiest difficulty. Never went above that. Always got owned by my brothers because they could play legendary, but I was fine. I remember playing my brother's favorite Halo to play was Halo Reach. And we had two game modes that we would love to play. One called Fry Sauce and one called Oh God Why. I'll start with Oh God Why. So Oh God Why was Juggernaut, or I think it was Slayer, and so just basically just free for all, and we've set all the settings to max. Moon jump, the sprinting speed 300%, 3 times overshield, gravity hammers, rocket launchers, bottomless clip, and we would play only on Forge World. We would just be zooming past each other at Mach speed, and it was the best game ever. Oh man. That game mode is so much fun to play, and so good. I feel you, Desk. I really need to update Respite. I haven't did that in over a year when I thought I could do 2 chapters a week. I can barely do 1, so maybe it'll win out in 27 weeks when I eventually run out of guard fix to read. Oddly, Shining seems slightly disappointed that our first day of actual servitude in the guard consisted of almost exactly the same early morning exercises as before, excepting that those who were the This is why it takes me so long to read a chapter. V likes to throw in a lot of words. I'm bad at words. Why am I doing this when I'm bad at words? Your guess is as good as mine, in all honesty. Oddly, Shining seemed slightly disappointed that the first day of actual servitude in the guard Oddly, Shining seemed slightly disappointed that the first day of actual servitude in the guard consisted of almost exactly the same early morning exercises as before, excepting that those who were considered the most fit were allowed to see to their own training. Roughly a quarter of the Pegasi and Earth ponies in our assigned group fell into this category, and perhaps half as many unicorns. Of our little quartet, Shining, Bold, and I opted to join the most vigorous group because it would be beneficial to us. Wispy chose to do something called free running that apparently involved a very spirited run across the various peaks of the city with her wings loosely bound. While this sounded odd to me, it was apparently not totally unheard of. Perhaps I would enjoy the experience, and I made note to try it at some point. I mean, you kind of cheat because you can just fall from great heights and not have anything to worry. V wants me to suffer. It's very true, but that's irrelevant. Also very true. Yeah. And to be honest, I thought Wispy would be more into parkour than free running. They are in fact 2 different things, which I have learned mostly because of game theory. Good stuff. But yes. So I kind of expected Wispy to be a free runner. But also, I also kind of expected her to do parkour more often. I don't know. I can't wait to... I might also have a secret project coming up that you might enjoy. That all y'all might enjoy. But I've only revealed it to one person, and they're in the chat right now. And It's going to be a good one. It's going to be really good. I have to decide what I'm actually going to do with it. And hopefully it won't be as rushed as the last special secret project that I did. But yeah. I do have a special secret special secret service project trademarked for upcoming sometime eventually. We shall see, and it will be glorious. The following training was a brief tour of the city as led by one of the senior guards. Our duties would consist of a great deal of grunt work, taking part in the various patrols of the city, and seeing how the good... The following training was a brief tour of the city, as led by one of the senior guard. Our duties would consist of a great deal of grunt work, taking part in the various patrols of the city, and seeing how the old guard dealt with trouble, which we had already been trained to do, as I understood it. Desk knows as well as I do is that I only read stories on fanfiction. Will that change in the future? Maybe. But you don't know that. I need a bigger thing of water to bring with me into these. I already burned through my first cup and I'm almost completely out of my second cup. I really just need to get a gallon jug, just freeze it, bring it in here, have at that. Yes, but it will not spoil it. Other than, I have a very similar project that I did earlier, and it's going to be kind of like that, but not. I'll leave that to you as it will. Do I need to practice my evil laugh for anything, V? Do I have to do a villain role at some point? Do I have to really practice? I have a feeling I'm going to need to practice my evil laugh in the most ridiculous way possible. I have a feeling that's something that V would throw at me. And yes, all the old guard will consist of only one voice. For those of you who have watched my previous chapters, know that I like one particular voice for the sergeant. He is going to be here in Manhattan. Why? Because. Well, I haven't even layered it with anything. Although evil laughs, I have a feeling that less layers is good. No, I'm not doing an evil laugh. Although I found out that about 12 bottles and some cans of soup. Man. Although I was working with someone the other night, and I enjoyed freaking them out just a little bit. And I always did it around a corner. They knew it was me, but I still freaked them out several times. But my favorite voice to freak them out with was their best friend, Robin. Robin will always be there to help his friends. Robin's just the bestest friend ever. Robin will never hurt his friends. He only wants to protect his friends. And it just kept spiraling on, and it was beautiful. Hi, guys. My name's Robin. Equinox cannot be here right now, but he will assuredly pop up at any moment. Learned from one of the greats, Mark Hamill as Joker in Batman the Animated. Oh gosh, no, I'm not doing an evil laugh. It is not called for right now. Like I said, like with all my other voices, I shall not prepare for any of them. I shall just roll with it as soon as I hit it. Like when we eventually hit mod, or or right now. Have to keep your eyes peeled, fillies and colts. This town never sleeps. Could be the crack of dawn or the stroke of midnight, and ponies are out and about, bullying, selling, seeing theater or museums. Oh wait, not bullying, buying. um, Have to keep your eyes peeled, fillies and colts. This town never sleeps. What am I doing with this voice? Oh no. It'll just be a less gruff version of the sergeant. Have to keep your you have to keep your eyes peeled, ladies and colts. He's not that old, is he? Is he, V? He better not be that old. I will not have this turn into a smother Smeagol incident. I will not have another Smeagol out and about on my stream. Have to keep your eyes peeled, fillies and colts. This town never sleeps. Could be the crack of dawn or the stroke of midnight, and ponies are out and about, buying, selling, seeing theater or museums. And then there's the bad ponies. Celestia knows Pegasi can get in enough trouble when there's enough light to see by. Bad ponies get all salted up, and the only way any pony finds them before morning is one of our patrols. So keep those eyes roaming. Yes, they're bullying people into selling stuff. I heard it's a great buy. I heard it's a great tactic to get what you want, or uncomfortable. Oddly, Shining seems. Oh man. Have to keep your eyes peeled, fillies and colts. Yep. I think I'll just keep that. We are breaking him. Keep going. Oh, you assume that I'm not already broken. You have to be fixed. Wait, you have to be fixed in order to be broke. You have to be whole to be broken? I guess either works. But you assume that I am of whole mind and body. That would not be the case in any point of this. Given that we were in the midst of what I believe to be the exact same lecture for the third time on the third day of this tour, which happened to coincide. Why is there a suspended bridge over why is there a suspended bridge over a population of the city? I'm questioning. Are they on top of a suspended bridge? And it's just underneath the bridge is another shopping section? Is that what's going on? Because I've been to Manhattan, and there is a lot of bridges, but I don't remember a lot of stuff being underneath those bridges. I could be totally misremembering. Although I did go to Manhattan, and I never saw the Empire State Building or Central Park. My East Coast tour was for all accounts and purposes, perfect. They poop off the bridge, yeah. Oh man. It's supposed to be a travel thing for cars. But there's roads. Or is this like an early freeway? Is this an early freeway? Because, like, why would you have bridge going over a city to connect to a different part of the city when there's surface roads to connect those parts of the city, unless it's like a cart freeway? But if it's a cart freeway, then why is there guards on the side of the cart freeway when they should be on the sides of scouting the highway for all those robbers? Like a scenic thing. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. Though I still question the show's interpretation of just a horse head just randomly on top of one of the skyscrapers. Like, seriously, why? Like, why is that a thing? If no one knows what I'm talking about, please look up. There's just... Why is there just a random horse head? Like, I get this is My Little Pony, but still, that seems excessive. Like, I'll put in the live stream chat. Like, why is there a horse head? To our groups and stuff, I guess. But that's I'm complaining about the show now, not the story. So, but there's just a random tall skyscraper and then a horse head on top of that skyscraper. But you don't need a second horse head. Is this just to show that, oh yes, this is definitely pony stuff? Like, why? That's my only question, is why? Oh yes, Desk. Your question. I await with bated breath. I had this whole thing figured out. Good question. Is the equestrian equivalent of the Godfather. How would they do the horse head scenes? How would they do the horse head scenes? That is a good question. It's really weird. Out of all the things, why a horse head? That's true. Like, out of all the things that the Godfather could do, a horse head? Like, horses are expensive. First of all, also really cruel to the horse. But also, like, seriously, is this just like a power move to just be like, oh yes, I bought a horse, chopped off his head, and now I hit it in someone's sheets. Like, why? It's just a nice chess piece. That's great. Mutters in drunken Irish. Yep. Oh man, that reminds me of this one Tumblr post I read where someone went to a soccer game over there, and one of the cheers from the Irish team was, "We hate the English more than you." Oh man, it was like Ireland versus Scotland, and it was amazing. Because it was his prized thoroughbred. Oh, okay. Okay, so it was the guy's horse that he was scaring. He killed that guy's. Okay, that whole movie makes a lot more sense now. To be honest, I never watched the movie, so I never watched the movie. In all honesty, so I don't. But what if they're not married? Yeah, I would. If it was just like a pet or something, then maybe their pet's head? Possibly? Because there's not really much you can do without just be like, I'm going to murder you, and I'm going to show that I'm going to murder you by murdering someone else. Like, that wouldn't necessarily work out all that well. I'm going to do 2 murders, but the first one is going to warn the second one that I'm going to murder them. That's how it would go if they still went with horse heads. Given that we were in the midst of what I believe to be the exact same lecture for the 3rd time on the 3rd day of this tour, which happened to coincide with our crossing of a suspended bridge, a horrible architecture that involves the use of very little material, that is subject to the motion of the wind and excessive travel, I disliked it immensely. I found that my settled... That is a long parenthesis. Why is there a long parenthesis? I hate long parentheses. Such a long parenthesis. Parentheses? Very true. Very true. Although that depends. Like, I've seen many stories. I've read many a fan fiction. I'm going to push up my glasses right here. It's also very good because I did need to push up my glasses even further. To push up my glasses even further onto the forehead of my head, because that's how snooty I'm being right now. I've read many a fan fiction, and it depends on what the author's going for. Horses could be referring to saddle Arabians, or it could just be a name for equestrians. Although they don't tend to, although they tend to favor the pony more than anything else. It could be a cultural difference that would that would separate those two words being used congruently. All right, glasses back down onto my normal face. At those points, have a bunch of powerful gods where we'd lost so many wine fields. To make you suffer, I think. Yep, fair enough. Fair enough. Or we would. Given that we were in the midst of what I believe to be the exact same lecture for the third time on the third day of this tour, which happened to coincide with our crossing of a Given that we were in the midst of what I believe to be the exact same lecture for the third time on the third day of this tour, which happened to coincide with our crossing of a suspended bridge, a horrible architecture that involves the use of very little material that is subject to motion of the wind and excessive travel, I disliked it immensely. I found that it settled my stomach to keep my vision focused on the ponies in the market below us, which was usually far more bustling than even Canterlot's own. Too many ponies, I had decided, finding this place to be perhaps too full of emotion for my palate. It was almost suffocating. I had initially found that I envied Wispy for being able to patrol above the crowds with her fellow Pegasi, but she admitted that it was mostly involved something with zoning restrictions and cloud homes being subtly shifted into a more expensive neighborhood. But autocorrect keeps changing it. Oh man, autocorrect, you gotta love it, right? For being able to patrol above the crowds with her fellow Pegasi. Oh my gosh. This is one long sentence. V! For being able to. I'd initially found. V! No! Bad V. Bad. Why do you. That's far too long of a sentence. It probably isn't, but it seems far too long. Also, I'd instead of I would. Or I had. I had initially found that I envied Wispy for being able to patrol above the crowds of her. I had initially found that I envied Wispy for being able to patrol above the crowds with her fellow Pegasi, but she admitted that it was mostly involved something with zoning restrictions and cloud homes being subtly shifted into more expensive neighborhoods, which was frowned upon. It's just words. Yeah. Why so many words? Why so many words, son? Because words do hurt. Probably not these words, but some words do. Yeah, it's just words. I had initially found that I envied Wispy for being able to patrol above the crowds with her fellow Pegasi, but she admitted that it was mostly involved something. And it doesn't even. What? I've read this 4 times now, and it still doesn't make sense to me. But she admitted that it mostly involved something with zoning restrictions and cloud homes being subtly. I don't know. Scoff, incorrect grammar, scoff. Exactly. I had initially found that I envied Wispy for being able to patrol above the crowds with her fellow Pegasi, but she admitted that it was mostly involved something with zoning restrictions and cloud homes being subtly shifted into more expensive neighborhoods, which was frowned upon. It's not so much incorrect grammar, it's just Idle's not to the point where he would be comfortable using contractions. After the 10-year time jump, contractions are go. Go for contractions. No. I'm not going to even finish that. But Idle is more archaic in his speech. So he usually just. So he would be less likely to use contractions among his. And it keeps him also very different from his fellow ponies, which do use contractions fairly often. Idles excessively. Yeah, that also. That also. So it was with. So it was with some relief that. So it was with some relief that my attention was drawn to a pony arguing with another very So it was with some relief that my attention was drawn to a pony arguing with another. Oh, I think that there should be. Should there be a comma here? It feels like there should be a comma. Is there a comma? You know what I love? Meat. And watching this cute narrator suffer. And that's why I like to be Griffin. You poor, poor narrator. To be honest. To be honest, that's fair enough. So it was, with some relief, that my attention was drawn to a pony arguing with another, very loudly at some sort of jewelry stand, and both were becoming clearly upset. Pony anger has always interested me. It very. Oh, I have the chat agreeing with me with there should be a comma there. And you know what? With a comma, there is a typo. Yes, that makes 4. Can we break last week's record of 13? Tune in right now on Livestream of the God. If I have to do any radio stuff for this story, I'll be all set. So it was with some relief that my attention was drawn to a pony arguing with another very loudly at some sort of jewelry stand, and both were becoming clearly upset. Pony anger has always interested me. It rarely had decent cause for the most excessive expressions. However, I was quite certain something was amiss when the sales pony turned away only for the buyer to shove the necklace they had been discussing into a saddlebag and quickly trot away. Okay, I thought it didn't finish that sentence for a second. I was going to be quite upset. All of Idle's long sentences are because he learns to feed on suffering later on. Oh, man. I read all this. The only way I'm. This is why I do the live stream, because you get to see all the mistakes and how many times it takes me to read even a simple paragraph. Whereas the video itself is like 15 minutes. You get to see the final product. Here, you get to see the process of how hard it is to read. How hard it is to read aloud. Oh, man. Are you trying to be the radio demon? I can't tell if I should hate you or love you. Well, now, there's no reason to hate the radio demon. He's just looking for entertainment. Oh, man, if only I was as good as Black Griffin. Fun fact, Black Griffin plays the radio demon. Karma, you're never late for being early. You're right on time, just as you mean to be. And you are actually very much on time. To see the Idol's famous, very, very famous, Justice Belly Flop. It is quite a sight to see. Only one time only. You'll be able to see it right here, live. I don't know why do I keep doing this? I love it. All right. Okay, I hate him. Yet I love him. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing this voice. It's actually a holdover from before the radio days, before all the nice picture shows was available for us to indulge our entertainment and boredom. Too bad there's no fan art of this. I think there is some fan art of the belly flop of justice. I believe there is. I have it. I know there is. I know there's a belly flop of justice. Belly flop Yes. Will it actually show it? Will we actually get anything? I've seen the art before, so I know it exists. I know it exists. I just don't know where it exists. Oh, wait, no. I know where, I know. No, not there, not there. Go back to my favorites, you fool. No. There we go. There we go. I have found it. To any of you in the Discord, I am putting it in the Discord chat right now. Justice from a higher elevation. Oh, I should totally change. Hold on, I need to change the stream name. Justice from... Alright, there we go. That is now the official from a higher elevation. I can't. Unfortunately, I can't post any pictures in the chat, in the YouTube chat. So go click the link below to join in the Changeling of the Guard Discord, and go to this live stream related chat to see all the things related to the live stream. I know it's kind of hard to follow. I have found it. It is in the live stream related chat for anyone who wishes to see. All right. Yeah. Go to the live stream related chat, and there you go. You'll be able to post pictures there, videos that I will see after the live stream, but post all the stuff that you want that YouTube won't let you post. All right. I hesitated, not wanting to directly draw attention to the scene, which the others did not seem to have noticed, as one of the seniors would have surely already have... I hesitated, not wanting to directly draw attention to the scene, which the others did not seem to have noticed, as one of the seniors would have surely already have seen... Oh, it's... It's, Oh my gosh. Hey, we're getting new people in. Welcome, Oreo Zebra. Welcome. What did you do, Idol? That's great. That's great. That's 3 in one day. Are you hiding a chapter from us? Oh, that is. Yep. I can promise you, sadly, there is not. Why am I missing so many of the things happening online? Okay. But you are not the one trolling. I am trolling Drake. Okay, yep. This is great. Hello, Oreo Zebra. Hello. Hello. Hi, welcome to your first live stream. Why am I... I'm going to be doing the radio voice for the rest of the stream. Why? Because it sounds Manhattan-y. Because, I don't know, whenever I think Manhattan, I think of this accent. Because this is obviously a Manhattan accent. Desk? That is very fair, okay? But I will assure you, it will not in any way, shape, or form, oh, my headphones, impact this live stream. It probably will, but I will try to make it not do so. I hesitated, not wanting to directly draw attention to the scene, which the others did not seem to have noticed, as one of the seniors would have surely already seen it. The pony was approaching us from beneath. I shifted, and realized that our senior guard was glaring at me even as he spoke. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Red, and that, and and if I turn into the Swedish chef, do not be alarmed. This is completely normal. Yes, I'm using a flim flam voice. The shoddy works of this channel. You're kind of harsh trying to promote the shoddy works of this channel. Yep. Yes, this may sound like a voice that you might have heard, but I shall assure you, good sir, that it shall not be. Possibly not, but it may show up later. I haven't decided yet. And plus, I would need to find out where exactly this voice would fit in. It probably already has a place. I don't know. We'll have to discover that together. Sir. Hold on. These one-word things. Sir? I began. No. Sir? I began, not wanting to interrupt, as the new sergeant first class seemed to be telling a very important detail. Slap screen of computer monitor. I began, not wanting to interrupt, as the new sergeant first class seemed to be telling a very important detail of an encounter with a griffin that was, again, larger than the day before. I began, not wanting to interrupt, as the new sergeant first class seemed to be telling a very important detail of an encounter with a griffin that was, again, larger than the day before, and therefore evidence that a third griffin had assaulted him at some point. If I may? This is genuine. This is genuine work. See here? Now you can't get fine worker than this. Yeah. Maybe I should do a rereading of Idle in the Dread Train again, because that one was a very rough reading when I first did it. Idle lives in the Dread Train. Oh man, I did that that was like the third thing I posted. It wasn't even. I don't even think it was that good. Oh man, I just kind of threw that one together. I should probably reread that at some point. Celestia's beard, cadet, can it wait? Oh no, that's not it. That's definitely not it. They will never find the body. Oh. Yep. Celestia's beard, cadet, can't it? Oh, he is suddenly very English. He is not only English, he is very English. And where did I voice him before? I need to reference. Keep those eyes Roman. Keep those eyes Roman. Keep those eyes Roman, cadet. Oh, gosh. Celestia's beard, cadet, can it wait? Celestia's beard, cadet, can it wait? I always wanted to be a person. Do we get an honorable mentions for being so loyal by watching your streams? Of course, I mention you every single stream. I say, hello, welcome to the live stream at the Madhouse, and all things in between. You are a part of something. You are part of something greater than this water bottle. Exactly. There's something greater than this water bottle. Me learning how to narrate, which will take another 5 years, considering how fast this story's been, how long this story's taken. Celestia's beard, cadet. I did not say bears. I said beard. I said a beard. A bird. Although Celestia drinking beard, or a nice stout lager. I don't know. I don't know beers. I did say beard. Oh. Autocorrect. Gets you every time, don't it? It gets you every time. Oh man, I'm going back to Scottish, I guess. I'm probably going to bounce around here for the rest of the stream. Who knows? I might change it up a little bit in just a few seconds. I considered trailing the pony, who was still making impressive headway through the crowd and was very nearly underneath us. The keeper of the stall had meanwhile noticed the absence of their item and was looking increasingly upset. I do not think so, sir. I just realized that I did the I did the radio voice for this sergeant. I did not realize that when I first voiced the sergeant. Also, okay, no, never mind. Sergeant first class, call him sergeant. I'm fine with that. Then go! Be quick about it! No, wait, that's not it either. Bestiest be it, cadet. Nope, it was that, totally. And what it means. This exclamation makes no sense. Stop it. Then go! Be quick about it! You have 5 minutes! Be go! Then go! Be quick about it! You have 5 minutes! I nodded, pleased that I was being given an opportunity to enforce the law of Equestria. Though the time constraint was troubling, I would have to make haste to the lower levels. The rest of you, take 5. The rest of you, take 5. Oh, hold on. Oh, how did I do this? The rest of you, take 5. No. The rest of you, take 5. Beard grows into a clothes, Celestia. The last of his words were lost to me as I poked myself between the bands of the bridge and dropped out of hearing range, recalling too late that Pony seemed to be finding this disconcerting. The last of his words were lost to me as I poked myself between the bands of the bridge and dropped out of hearing range. The last of his words were lost to me as I poked myself between the bands of the bridge and dropped out of hearing range, recalling too late that Pony seemed to find this disconcerting. As it was, my fall was cushioned by the thief pony in question, who had actually stopped to gawk when some pony nearby had noticed my approach. Their shock allowed me to quickly wrap them in a hold that I had once managed to use on Bolt himself for a period of almost a full 10 seconds. The buck you came from! Just everyone in Manhattan just has the radio demon voice. The buck you come from! Just higher pitched versions. Oh gosh. Water. You're choking me. Why? I love you so. Oh gosh. Water, why must you hurt me when I must... Good water. Definitely water. Nothing else. It's totally water. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Ignore that I said that. Just know that I love water. Nothing else. The buck did you come from? No. The buck did you come from? Yes, that is going to be her accent, since she has a very minor role. The buck you come from? Just... You were edging into Chris Tucker there. It's adult water. Yes, adult water. It is very good. Very good. Not meant for children. Adults only. See? I am only drinking this adult water. I mean water. It's water. Meant for adults and kids. They demanded, struggling in a way that was most unlikely to get them free. Training, it seemed, actually did assist one in these matters. Up close, it was clear the thief in question was a mare. I bring justice from above. I bring justice from above. And thus, the idol's legend of being the Batman was formed in Manhattan. Also started a new trend of guards jumping from high places to apprehend criminals. Fortunately, this practice was quickly stopped when they realized that feather falling spells did not quite work like that. I announced, wanting her to be aware that I had been witness to the crime. I announced, wanting her to be aware that I had been witness to the crime. I announced, wanting her to be aware that I had been witness to the crime. That I have... It needs to be more pronounced. It's the perk of crime. Are you saying this needs to be more pronounced? The book you could... no, that's I mean, the story is rated T for teen, so... Parkour! 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 Take 5! Oof. Oof. There we go. That good enough? The rest of you take 5! I announced, wanting her to be aware that I had been witness to the crime. I announced, wanting her to be aware that I had been witness to the crime. She stared, mounting horror on her features. Clearly, the realization that she had performed an illegal act had not fully occurred to her. This was good. I could scarcely believe a pony would purposefully do something... Purposefully. She stared, mounting horror on her features. Clearly, the realization that she had not... She stared, mounting horror on her features. Clearly, the realization that she had performed an illegal act had not fully occurred to her. This was good. I could scarcely believe a pony would purposefully do something knowing it would... This... Is this going to turn into another colloquially? This was good. I could scarcely believe a pony would purposefully do something knowing that it was morally and legally wrong. Whatever the other suggested, it was almost unthinkable. Thankfully, her struggles abated when 2 other guards separated us. Fighting. Thankfully, her struggles abated when 2 other guards separated us. The sales pony was delighted at the return of her family heirloom, which had not been for sale and had been the cause for their suffering? Yes. Of course. I always suffer for my craft. I do not know what voice I'm doing now. Don't ask me to do this again. I'm switching again. Don't worry about it. Happens often. Happens fairly often. I know I'm not making a point to constantly switch accents into something that I'm not even sure what I'm going to do about it, in all honesty. Oh no, I'm now sounding like Bold a little bit. Oh, Bold's a little bit deeper, but still. Thankfully, her struggles abated when 2 other guards separated us. The sales pony was delighted at the return of her family heirloom, which had not been for sale and had been the cause for their earlier argument. The thief pony said some very discourteous things that I will not repeat, and claimed the necklace was hers. The lie displeased me, and I believe my gare, beware, idol's gare. Not the gar, anything but the gur, herpader, herpader. This was hers. The lie displeased me, and I believe my glare silenced any further outbursts. Unfortunately, the process took considerably longer than 5 minutes, and I was ashamed to see my assigned squad hurrying down an alley to get to me. Are changelings considered alicorns? In this story, no. And a loose saying of no. Mostly because when Idol became Fireacorn in the earlier chapters, he said he tapped into a power that he knew not what he had. So I'm assuming that they're more like Pegacorns or Unicyses, where they look like alicorns, technically, but they do not have the power of the alicorns. Right? Yeah. Because alicorns are more like gods/demigods, even though they discourage that. The hey, what are you thinking, cadet? That's not his voice either. No, stop recording me! Also, the reason why I don't make my own bloopers, because I would have to cut out most of what I am doing. And that's why the live streams exist. If anyone wants to do bloopers, feel free. If I ever want to do it myself, I could definitely do that. I don't want to, but I could definitely do it if I could totally do it. But no. Totally, but no. The hey, were you thinking, cadet? The hey, were you thinking, cadet? The senior guard sputtered, looking as though I had done something out of the ordinary. This had been duty, clearly. You jumped off a bridge! 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 Bridge you jumped off of! You missed stuff. You jumped off a bridge! You jumped off a bridge! Forgive me, sir. The time's great. Forgive me, sir. The time's Forgive me, sir. Forgive me, sir. The time constraint given. The roar nearly set me back a step. Buck the time Just... Oh, yeah, V, you missed the belly flop of justice. You missed the entire thing which I based this whole stream around, which was the belly floop of justice. You need to realize the floop of the belly floop. Book the time. Just this is gonna be a oh man. Oh, this guard. Titanium pony. Yes. Hold on. I have to figure. You jumped off a bridge. Buck the time constraint. You jumped off a bridge. We had to secure shining armor to keep him from bucking going after you. Are you insane? Quite possibly, sir. As I am when I had to read that. Oh gosh, I clipped my audio so bad. Hold on, I might need to... Hold on, I might need to fix that before. Book! Just be less not here. Oh, I might have to do it while turned away from the mic, so that way I don't actually clip it. Talking into the mic without actually talking into the mic is something that I need to learn more of. Well, let us see where this goes. Buck the time constraint. You jumped off a bridge. We had to secure shining armor to keep him from going after you. Oh, hold on. I missed a curse word in there. Hold on. Shining is really a bro. Yeah. Yes, for sure. He is definitely all that. And I think he did say in an earlier chapter of if Idle found a good reason to jump off a bridge, Shining would follow him. So, call back. Book the time. Hold on. Book the time constraint. You jumped off a bridge. We had to secure shining armor to keep him from bucking going after you. Are you insane? That actually worked a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Secure shining armor to keep him from bucking going after you. Are you insane? The roar. Book the although that does sound like I'm purposely trying not to yell into the microphone. Straight. You jumped off a bridge. We had. I noticed Shining Armor looked shamefaced at this, and I nodded my appreciation at him. He was indeed a very good friend, and true to his word. He seemed to brighten slightly at that. No, sir. I had noted a crime, and you told me to go. It was the fastest way to the lower level. The senior sputtered, furious beyond words, though I could not reason why. Perhaps tackling a pony from a bridge was considered excessive force. Ponies were fragile in some ways, I understood, and had not... The senior sputtered, furious beyond words, though I could not reason why. Perhaps tackling a pony from a bridge was excessive force. Ponies were fragile in some ways, I understood, and not very good at landing. And not very good at landing. It was probably for the best that Shining hadn't joined me. It was lower than our training climb had been, but not by much. The bridge had... And not very good at landing. It was probably And not very good at landing. It was probably for the best that Shining hadn't joined me. It was lower than our training climb had been, but not by much. The bridge was intended as a scenic view, and was clearly not meant for such sudden departure by non-winged ponies. It was clearly not meant for such sudden departure by... The bridge was intended as a scenic view, and was clearly not meant for such... The bridge was intended as a scenic view, and was clearly not meant for such a sudden departure by non-winged ponies. I have been said to... Gosh. Would not jump off a bridge, I mean... I have been said to be the beneficiary of some form of featherfall spell, I recalled. I have been said to be the beneficiary of some form of featherfall spell, I recalled Topaz's earlier claim, while untrue, could truthfully be truthfully repeated. It seemed to ease the senior officer's mind, but he was clearly still upset. I am not sure how such a thing works, but these drops do not concern me. and it allowed me to approach good sturdy ground more rapidly. I liked that very much. The bridge. He growls nonetheless. He growls nonetheless. He growls nonetheless. T-Rex teacups T-Rex teacups ladder boy. Scuff scuff mortals. Exactly. Oh no. I hit the mic. I've broken the mic. Stay. Okay, I think the mic's fixed. He can't troll me. I am the bridge. Oh man. I'm gonna just take a hiatus from writing Guardlings. No, Carapace, you must continue writing Guardlings. The hype will not be stopped, and the longer you wait for it, the hype will only grow for these Guardlings. I'll make Arger go on to highest too. Oh dear, it's that time. All right. Enough reading the Discord chat, I guess. Why do things happen in the general chat? I specifically asked for it to be in the Livestream chat so I could make fun of it. Oh man. Although I'm curious because because Idol's very much proven to be very dense. He is a very dense in both terms of the word. But he is surprisingly light? How does that work? Is it just like... I always imagine that his changeling form is a little bit larger than his guard form. So when he compacts into his guard form, he's more dense. But the same weight? I don't know. Well, let's see. T-Rex teacups lad. T-Rex teacups lad. That would have been nice to know before he jumped off a moon-cursed bridge. He's going to be all over the place if you haven't noticed. He's only in here for this one scene. So, Wednesday. Wednesday. April Fool's Day. There is no escape. Oh, Wednesday is April Fool's. My regular upload time is on Wednesday. Oh no. No one's going to watch my videos. No. T-Rex teacups lad. T-Rex teacups lad. That would have been nice to know before you jumped off a moon-cursed bridge. Oh gosh, oh golly. I am so angry right now. Gee willikers. Alright, have a good night, Demo. Don't worry, the stream will only head on for like another half hour, so you're good. You're not going to miss too much, in all honesty. And there will be a new chapter on Wednesday. Or maybe not. Or maybe April Fool's. Or possibly not. You shall never know. Only I shall know. And even possibly not even myself. Let us see what Wednesday brings. Shall we? T-Rex teacups lad. That would have been nice to know before you jumped off a moon-cursed bridge. I was familiar with neither of those terms, so instead lowered my head as a show of deference. This seemed to finally appease him, and we continued on our trek around the city. Apparently, I had made my first collar, which I would assume to be another term that I had not been familiar with. That's the take I'm going for. No, April Fools. That is autocorrect hitting you up. Is autocorrect misspelling, making you misspell April again? That's such a sad thing to see. You think technology would be a little bit better than this, don't you think? But oh well. But yes, April Fool's Day. It shall be a very fun day. I can't wait to see What April Fools bring this year? Well, it could bring nothing, since no one can really prank anyone right now. But we shall see. Maybe I can prank you, or I'll prank myself. It's all up in the air, to be honest. Apparently, I had made my first caller, which I would assume to be another term I had not been familiar with, and this was the cause for visiting a bar for a sensible amount of drinking. I was initially resistant, but this too was apparently tradition. Nope, that's a bad tick. Oh, don't worry, I'm not sick. It's just I need to get the bad words out of my mouth to replace them with good words. Nice, wholesome words, right? Right. And that's the last of my water. No! I really need to bring more water in with me for these streams. I'm always running out. Why? Apparently, I had made my first caller. Which I would assume to be another term I had not been familiar with, and this was the cause for visiting a bar for a sensible amount of drinking. I was initially resistant, but this too was apparently tradition. It seemed a lot of guard traditions involved alcohol. I was beginning to grow slightly concerned with the direction they seemed to be going. It seemed a lot of guard traditions involved alcohol. 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 You said April. I meant April. I know you mean April. I'm so sorry that autocorrect is still hitting you even on your Discord. I feel so bad for you, dude. I would hate misspelling April all the time, and just being replaced with Apple. I get you're a fan of Applejack, but that's a little bit excessive even for technology's sake. It seemed a lot of guard traditions involved alcohol. I was beginning to grow slightly concerned with the direction they seemed to be going. However, my fears were unfounded. Only I was to drink more than I should during this event, and even then it was only to be... However, my fears were unfounded. Only I was to drink more than I should during this event, and even then it was only to be the limits of moderation, as was appropriate for celebration. Is there a movie called April 1st? Or April Fool's Day? I could imagine there's a movie called April Fool's Day. Apple Fool's Day doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so I'm glad to see that we cleared up the autocorrect issue. However, my fears were unfounded. Only I was to drink more than I should during this event, and even then it was only to be to the limits of moderation, as was appropriate for celebration. Princess Cadence's arrival in a low bar made my mouth far more dry than any beverage, salted or alcoholic. Yep, April Fool's Day. Exactly. See? Oreo got it. I'm not denying anything. You seem to be very hot and bothered by by this autocorrect issue, which I don't blame you for, to be honest. Autocorrect can be very annoying sometimes. I mean, for a while, it kept on replacing MLP with MOP for me. I don't know why, but yeah, eventually it'll learn. Although it still hasn't learned that I'm trying to spell olives after writing down... I'm trying to write down black olives for my work, and it keeps on trying to put in Black Mirror, Black Ops. I'm like, I've never used any of those words. I've only used olives. Leave my words alone. But yeah, it sounds like, but you sound very hot and bothered by the mistakes that technology is making. Maybe you should drink some refreshing apple beverage, so you can face off against the heat. I don't know. or maybe it'll be April Fool's Day and there's going to be no apple juice. Who knows? Not only should one so high never sully her hooves in such a place, but she was entirely without escort. More disturbing, she was wearing some form of disguise. Her appearance was completely wrong, and the magic surrounding her was hard to explain. It was oddly disappointing, a glamour that changed her color to a rich dark green and altered her features only slightly, as well as hiding her wings. But smoke does not hide a volcano. Oh man, now Oreo's been cursed with autocorrect issues because it's mispronounced apple as April. Man, we're having all sorts of issues between Apple and April this day with autocorrect. Oh no, not the adult. No, oh no. Oh no, not the adult water. For April 1st, you should post a 15-second video of you drinking apple juice. Oh my gosh. That would be wonderful. Oh, yes, yes. Or maybe you might get a musical rendition of, or Idol sings. Oh man. Oh man, yeah, to solve this issue, maybe to bring it to the forefront, April and Apple should occur in the same sentence. And then it would be so confused that it might fix itself. Or it might break itself even more. We have no idea. Idol does sing. Idol does sing. He sang that march after seeing that musical. It's a musical episode. I hear they're going to make it a musical episode. But that's just a fact. Oh gosh. I'm out of water. No. My agua is empty. And I also drink over 2 liters of water. I don't know how this will probably not end good. April and apples. See, we don't know which way is what. It could be right, it could be wrong. We have no idea. Idle drinking the juice, and Moth getting upset and questioning if he's drinking Applejack. Who knows? Is he drinking apple juice, though? Or is he drinking mead? Because they look very similar. Very slightly similar. And it looks delicious. And both of them are very delicious beverages. Especially the apple juice when combined with Diet Dr. Pepper. Don't ask me how I found out that. Don't question why I know this is such a delicious drink. Just know that it is a delicious drink, and you should absolutely try it, especially on April 1st. Maybe we should make April 1st like Apple Day, just like Apple Juice Day, and just drink apple juice or apple cider, or something like that. Also, V, where is the Moth storyline going? Like, we see her once here, and we know that she's been riding Idol as pen pal for 10 years. And yet, she's never seen him since then, and Pinky still thinks it's a crush. So I'm wondering, is she just playing the long game, or what's going on? It's not apple juice, it's wine. It's not apple juice, it's wine. Although wine's not that good. Mead is delicious. Apple juice, wine is not. Although I've never had an apple wine before. Maybe I'll have an alcoholic cider. Who knows? Who knows? The world's gone insane. So we just don't say anything and drink to forget. If any of you gets that reference, kudos to you. Except apparently this smoke did. Shining spoke to her and seemed to have absolutely no idea that it was she. That was. Except apparently this smoke did. Shining spoke to her and seemed to have absolutely no idea that it was she. That was intolerable. I would have to correct this misconception. That was intolerable. That was intolerable. I would have to correct That was intolerable. I would have to correct this misconception at first opportunity. In fact, none of the other ponies seemed to recognize her innate majesty. My horror at the unfolding scene led me to stare, unable to speak. I could not even break eyes with her when she met my own, and suddenly blushed, and I realized how horribly inappropriate that had appeared. Order, how was this to be fixed? Maud is waiting for that moss to grow. Shining politely returned a flirtatious. Shining politely returned a flirtatious comment, but sounded rebuffed. Shining politely returned a flirtatious comment, but soundly rebuffed any other invitations. Shining politely returned a flirtatious comment, but soundly rebuffed any other invitation, which seemed to annoy her. The sergeant decided to join them on. Yes, it's been a very entertaining day. Oh, gosh. Shining politely returned a flirtatious comment, but soundly rebuffed any other invitation, which seemed to annoy her. I would have to make him aware of this disaster that was brewing post-haste. Post-haste! I shall save Shining from himself! We have to save Shining! I have to save Shining! I will turn everything into Oreos. I'm okay with this. Especially mint Oreos. Those are fantastic. Shining politely returned a flirtatious comment, but soundly rebuffed any other invitations, which seemed to annoy her. I would have to make him aware of the disaster he was brewing post-haste, and I found myself following her when she left and took a seat elsewhere with a bit of displeasure on her face. Excuse me, this is horribly forward of me. She blinked, then blushed deeply, looking away. No, what was Katie's voice? What did I decide cadence was? You're right, I do need to make a character file with all the references that I need. I might need to look into my old files. Let's look at the one I just barely posted. Hot damn. Chapter 26. Hot all those weeks ago. Whatever Princess Cadence had done, it had healed all my to make her angrier with him. And began again. There was an incident with the Timberwolf. Wait, information I could relate this time. Apparently, oh no, it was military Cadence that was where it was. Chapter 25, with some concern, but his queen. Order, perhaps the Timberwolves had changed something loose. One of them. It only made me more stunned and horrified. Also, I'm hugging him so I don't strangle you. I have a lot of emotions. I'm hugging him so I don't strangle you. All right, kind of like Topaz, but not really. Kind of in the middle. All right. See you later, desk. We shall see you next week, or maybe I shall see you Wednesday. Who knows? It could happen either way. Oh, this is awkward. Don't get me wrong, you're a catch and all, but I've actually got my eye on some pony already. Princess, I, I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm believing that you've been feeding me. Ah. She spun so quickly she nearly knocked over a pony carrying drinks, and I could swear I saw a glimpse of pink. She spun so quickly she nearly knocked over a pony carrying drinks, and I could swear I saw a glimpse of pink wing as she. Glimpse of a typo! A typo! I do doth declare I seeth a typo, a missing letter A. Hey, Adrian. Once again, he stops before finishing a chapter. It's a long chapter, okay? I only give myself 2 hours every week to record, and then I'll re-record the next day because some chapters are just too long for one recording session. She spun so quickly she nearly knocked over a pony carrying drinks, and I could swear I saw a glimpse of a pink wing. She spun so quickly she nearly knocked over a pony carrying drinks, and I could swear I saw a glimpse of a pink wing as she did so, though whatever she had done to cover it, it quickly reasserted. Though whatever she had done to cover it quickly reasserted itself. Oh, typo. This is the trick to summoning V. Just have just the ding. The ding summons. I saw a glimpse of pink wing. I saw a glimpse of pink wing. Probably could work, but it works better if it was a glimpse of a pink wing, unless both of her wings were suddenly uncovered at the same time. Unacceptable conditions. That the V summoning circle, which happens every so often when we want a chapter, is a bunch of idols standing in a row, standing in a circle, ringing the the typo bell, and once the typo bell is rung, he is summoned and completes another chapter of Idol's life. Then he rests for the next 3 months until they decide that Idol needs to continue his lives again. Princess? Where? Princess Celestia here? That's crazy. She'd never come here. Princess Cadence laughed, her voice sounding just slightly off. Surely you don't mean me? Yeah, but you've also confirmed other typos earlier in the story, so I don't think it's complete. I think it's an inaccurate transcription of what he's actually saying. Princess? Where? Princess Celestia here? That's crazy. She'd never come here. Princess Cadence laughed, her voice sounding just slightly off. Surely you don't mean me? Perhaps this was an implied order to use that name. Perhaps this was an implied order to use that name. Perhaps this was an implied order to use that name. Katie, At that moment, one of the princesses of all Equestria shoved me into a corner. Princesses. One of the princesses. Like, that was an aside to the person who relates it to? What? Shh. Just how am I supposed to do shushing in a character voice. It's shushing. Shh. Rapapapa. Rappa. Rapapapa. Okay. No, no, no. Shh, shh. There we go. That's what I'm sticking with. She looked frantically about to see that nobody had noticed us. Wispy had. She looked frantically about to see that nobody had noticed us. Wispy had, damn the luck, but she nodded in approval and gave me a small salute. I was beginning to mistrust my friend's judgment that time. I was beginning to mistrust. No, no, no! It's still recording! Stop it! I have to redo all that now. She looked. Oh, gosh. Holy crap! How long was it going? Of all Equestria shoved me into a corner. Ah! There we go. She looked around frantically about to see that nobody had noticed us. Wispy had. Damn the luck. But she nodded in approval and gave me a small salute. I was beginning to... She looked frantically about. Whoa, why is it starting from all the way over there? That was weird. She looked frantically about to see that nobody had noticed us. Wispy had, damned luck, but she nodded in approval and gave me a small salute. I was beginning to mistrust my friend's judgments at times. Oh, Harmony, how did you know? Does Shining Armor know? Does he think I'm an idiot? Oh, Harmony, I'm an idiot. I should have just told him it was me. Now he thinks I'm spying on him, or... Also, you're missing, quotation... You're missing quotation marks here, V. You're missing quotation marks, V. It's another typo! Yay! Because it's not a continuation of another person thinking this, so... It's definitely a typo. 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 Daylight come and me wanna go home. No. No, I do not think he does. I admitted, now completely lost. How could a princess of Equestria be this on... I admitted, now completely lost. How could... I admitted, now completely lost. How could a princess of Equestria... I admitted, now completely lost. How could a princess of Equestria be this... uncertain? In a small, hopeful voice, she muttered. He doesn't? To my knowledge, he does not, Cadence. To my knowledge, he does not, Cadenza. To my knowledge, he does not, Emerald Glen. Emerald Glen. She corrected firmly. It was suitable. Actually, it was a pretty good name, all things considered. Did all ponies find these names to be second nature? Emerald Glen? He does not. Emerald Glen? Emerald Glen? He does not. Emerald Glen? He does not. Oh, thank goodness. She looked at me, then sighed. You're going to tell him, aren't you? Oh, this is such a disaster. I just wanted to surprise him, and I thought this would be a fun... You're going to tell him, aren't you? Oh, this is such a disaster. I wanted to surprise him, and I thought it would be fun to flirt a bit and... He did not realize it was you, and therefore turned you away. She looked embarrassed. I wasn't testing him or anything, I swear. I had no idea what she was talking about now, so I simply blinked. Okay, hold on. How long is in this? Okay, I'm almost done with this chapter, and I have 8 minutes to go. Can I finish this off? We shall see. Okay, maybe a little, but I was going to tell him. I just didn't expect him to be so firm about it. I was going to tell him in private. Ah, this I understood. Your honor is at stake. He holds your affection in so high a regard that he does not recognize those who would encroach upon your territory. She scrutinized my face, then met my eyes. Those she had left almost completely unchanged. Had Shining met those, he would have surely realized the truth. You do not need to talk him up, Mr. Hooves. You're mad, Emerald. It is true, and I swear it. After the traditional drinking before... You're mad, Emerald. It is true, and I swear it. After the traditional drinking before her induction, he was truly intoxicated to the point where he told another mare her dress was appealing. Then he was very nearly inconsolable with the idea that you would be displeased with him for even noticing that much. Cadence Emerald blinked. Well, of course I don't want him to be blind. That's not healthy for a relationship. Still, she looked significantly more cheerful. He is a good stallion. He is such a good stallion. One of the best. I agreed. If I don't tell him that I came to see him, are you going to? If I don't tell him I came to see him, are you going to? He has sent you a dragonfire letter every day since our arrival. I noted. Those I had found were prohibitively expensive. A letter was a single bit. Dragonfire was 15. The price one paid for instant communication, I suppose, but still extravagant. It would please him greatly to see you. Now she winced. I haven't been at the castle to receive them. I didn't know he'd be sending anything Dragonfire. Do you know what they said? Reading another pony's mail is a felony, your Glenness. That near slip seemed to amuse her. All right, look. Do you happen to think I could get into your barracks? I could tell him there, in private. I considered. That seemed reasonable. We are the corner room, number 108. I believe we are allowed to have visitors. All right, yes, I think this will work, so please don't tell him until I get a chance to. Yes, ma'am. Hermbadner. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Returning to my compatriots had never felt so awkward. Wispy seemed amused by my Nova ways. I was finding Manhattan to be a very complex place. Manhattan. I said Manhattan, didn't I? Returning to my compatriots had never felt so awkward. Wispy seemed amused by my Nova ways, and I was finding Manhattan to be a very complex place. Woo! Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. That is me. Finished recording for the evening. So, there will be a chapter of Wednesday. April Fools or not, there will still be a chapter Wednesday. If there's another video there instead, well, that's a possibility that you might have to consider. I very rarely never end a chapter. I always try and end the chapters that I start. You just haven't been here the chapters that I don't start, that I don't finish. Okay, I can now release the recording blankets and sweet fresh air. It is so hot under here. But yes, it has been a very successfully recording session, if I do say so myself. But even though I have finished recording chapter 30, chapter 28, chapter 28, chapter 27, one of those, chapter something will appear. Nope, chapter 27. Chapter 27 will appear on Wednesday. I hope to have a backlog of these, so even when I'm sick, I can still provide to you entertainment on a more regular basis. Season 10 being in the comics. I personally don't collect the comics, but if Season 10 is a purely canon, like not partial canon like most of the comics are, but absolutely canon being in the comics, I'm fine with that. Yes, it'll be sad that we don't have the voices that we usually have, but I do like it in the way that it will let them interact with characters that they wouldn't be able to like afford the voice actors for. Like like seeing Tempest and Sigian and all those characters in the last episode was fantastic, but I realized that it'd be way too expensive to have those voice actors be in an episode. So I like Season 10 being in there, so that way they could probably catch up with Tempest, or they can do stuff that they wouldn't normally be able to do in an episode because of budget restraints. Comic gives them so much more freedom. So I like it. It lets them explore stories that would never be possible on TV. Even though I will miss the voices of the main six and the rest of the cast. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Zecora, right? Didn't she turn into a tree at one point? I haven't seen the episode, so I don't know. Oh gosh. Although I probably should get myself some more water. I ran out a half hour ago, and reading that much, let alone talking this much, has put a definite strain on my voice. And yes, I am still talking in my narrator accent. Why? Because I don't know. It seems I've seemed to have fallen into a trap of some sort. But anyway, it was great. It was great, great fun, great success. This stream. A toast to V for another great read. Oh yeah, V. Idle is unseducible. It's not that he's unseducible. It's just that he never realizes that he is getting seduced. Oh wait, it was V that said that. Oh wait, never mind. I do have a link to read most of the all the comics from Yay Ponies. It's just I don't really have a lot of time to read in my free time anymore. Like, pretty much this, as well as whenever I donate plasma, are like the only times during the week where I get to read something, because I'm just really busy during the week. I don't know why I'm so busy. Maybe I just am poor planning. Can we get Twilight in here? Plan out my day so I can get stuff done. But yes, it has been a very fun stream tonight. And with that, we have passed the 2-hour mark. We are the 8 o'clock mark, if in my home time zone. I think it's UTC -7 for those of you interested in that, or Mountain Time. Welcome to Mountain Time. the place where our accents are the most clear. From the fact that we just mainly don't say T's in the middle of words, like mountain or Clinton or Leighton, stuff like that. We just completely ignore it. Butter. Accents are pretty much non-existent back here. Maybe that's why I tend to go towards the more exaggerated accent. I have a request for you. You may have thought this time would have never come, but I shall request for you to have a lovely night. And I'll see you on the Discords. And see you next week with Chapter 31, On the Rocks, where we'll meet Maud for the first time. Will I have a voice? Will I have a consistent voice for Maud? Or will she actually not be monotone in this series? Who knows? Well, anyway, I love talking to you guys. Thank you for dropping by. And I shall see you next week. Bye!